Hello? Hello?
Hey,
Hey.
are you doing Kim's thing today?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to find her on for the guest thing. Is she on?
Yeah, she's on. She was looking for you. I told her I was going to call you.
Okay, I've been right here trying to look for her and it doesn't seem like it's not going in.
Okay, let me go see if I can help her now that I know you're on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate it. Okay. Um, hmm.
There's my girl.
You are. How are you?
You know, I'm a little technology challenged, so I was looking for you, but yeah, I don't know.
You know what? I was having the same issue, so you're okay. Either it was my internet, but I'm like looking and looking. I'm like, where is she? I was like trying to see, figure it out. I got out, I went back in, and I just yeah. So you're okay. I'm on the same boat.
Okay, good deal, good deal. How are you?
I am doing good.
You've had a hectic week, I know.
Yes, it's been one thing after another, but it is okay. God is good, and He's just, we just got to hold on to Him sometimes for these struggles, and He will get us through them. And that's all we can do.
Yes, yes, I agree with that very much.
And so, yeah, I had a rough week, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I'm able to still do this. It brings me great joy every time I get to just talk with people. Sometimes, when you're not talking about yourself, thank you so much, Ashley, for that. And you just get to just talk to somebody else. It helps you to not ponder and think of anything else and stuff that is going on. So
Do you have some kind of media background or something? Because you do a really, really great job at interviewing people.
I've done a lot of news stuff when I've had to be interviewed for things. I've done other stuff where I've had to do a lot of speaking in front of people. And so that is a lot of my job, where speaking in front of people, but as in like interviews and all that stuff, no, I have not.
Look at me, I'm interviewing you and you didn't even know it.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I think that it just kind of comes along with being in front of people. I think it just kind of grows in that part of just natural of just talking with people and getting to know them. And so, yeah. But this actually thing is all about you. If you are just joining in, thank you guys so much for coming. And Hello Neighbor. Our guest today for Hello Neighbor is Kim Sylvie, correct? I've been always calling you Sylvie.
That's okay. That's okay.
And so thank you so much for coming on and letting us know about your products. Now, I got the privilege to go on yours, one of your lives through Ashley. And so I like, I had to try it because I love getting a lot of the soaps. Sometimes you find them at like farmers markets and stuff. And but it only comes every while. And so I was like, I had to try it. And so getting the one, I think I got lavender lemon was the one I first ordered. And I fell in love with your product since then. My husband has liked it and has enjoyed it. And so I'm so happy that I get to now know how it just kind of all began. And so I'm so happy that you given me that opportunity to do that.
Why, thank
So,
you. I appreciate it too. I do. I do. You've got a great thing going here, the way you do things. So,
yeah, like I said, I love knowing people's story. I love getting to know new people. And in doing that, I think TikTok has given them that, like given us all an awesome platform to do that. We're meeting people all around the world, people you wouldn't think that you'd become best friends with, people that you wouldn't cross paths because they're like on the other side of the world. And so I think it's an awesome thing that TikTok has given us that opportunity to do that. And for me, it's just getting to know people. I love that. So, yeah, so I love that TikTok is giving us that opportunity. And so, my first question, and just getting kind of jumping right into it, is your name product. It lights up right behind you in your lives every time. It's Sylvie's Soap. How did you come up with your brand name?
um, well, I didn't aim to have a business, not at all. I always tell people that I've always lived in a city. That would be the city of California, Missouri, population 4,000. So it's not even really it's not a big city. It's a rural area. And when we moved from the city to the country, I was doing a lot of canning and stuff, and I just happened to be looking online, and I saw that this lady was making soap, and I thought I should try that because my family is so, sensitive to the store-bought soaps. So I tried it. I was so excited to cut it, and it was a total flop. I mean, it just broke into 1,000 pieces. And so that made me mad, and I just continued to make soap. And at a certain point, it got to be where I had lots of soap setting around. I was giving it away to families, neighbors, teacher friends. And at a certain point, it got to be, my husband was like, you know what, you've got a lot. Before you make any more, we either need to get rid of this or because it's costing a lot of money to make all this, you should do a farmer's market because I really think you could sell it. So I had made soap for probably almost close to 4 years before I sold any. So I didn't just sit around one day and think, oh, what should we call this stuff? It was kind of like, oh, there's a farmer's market next weekend. I need to label my soap. What should we call it? Oh, let's just go with our last name. So if I had to do it over again, would I name it something different? Maybe. I don't know, So I didn't really plan to have a business. It just kind of happened.
Just fell in your lap.
It just kind of happened. If you would have told me, my 10th anniversary of making soap was this last September the 18th. If you would have told me 11 years ago that I would have a soap company, I would have laughed and be like, I've never made soap. I don't know anything about soap, because I would have never dreamed that I would have retired from teaching and had a soap company. It blows my mind to this day. So,
Yeah.
so I didn't really come up with a cool name or anything. It just kind of happened.
You had to have something, and there you go. Stamp it in with your name, and it's done.
I did. That's how it worked.
Well, your product. I've tried many other soaps in other farmers markets. I've tried soaps too, organic name brands that we can't, say on here. But it's always, my skin is very sensitive. I have eczema, so do my boys. And so it's always been something that particular to that I have to make sure the scents are careful. The products they put in there are careful. And using yours was something that I right after washing my hands, my body, it left my skin so soft. I think that is one of my favorite things of your product is just it left it soft. If I didn't put lotion, maybe I forgot that day or whatever, I would have been okay. My skin was just that soft. It was good. And so I know that you have oils, unique things that go particularly in your soaps. What makes your soaps different from other products?
Well, one of the things is the sunflower oil that goes in it, because you see I have on my Missouri grown sweatshirt. I'm always talking about that. But, if you go to just a grocery store and buy sunflower oil, it's totally different than the sunflower oil that I put in my soap, because The sunflower oil I put in my soap is locally grown and it is 1000% natural. There's no, it's cold pressed. So that's one thing. And then I don't use, like, if you look at the back of the bars, I always tell people I don't give out my recipe, but actually I do, because every bar of soap has the ingredients on the back, because I think it's important that people know what they're putting on their skin. And it will tell you if it's a fragrance oil or if it's an essential oil. And a lot of times people like to use really expensive oils when they're making their soap. And if you put just a little bit of expensive oil in your soap, it's not gonna, do a whole lot. So I think the best thing to do when making soap is just keep it simple. Olive, coconut, palm, my Missouri sunflower oil. Sometimes I'll add in like, sweet almond oil or castor oil or different oils, but I'm not using oils that cost, $50 an ounce, because a lot of times that doesn't transfer to your skin anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just keeping it simple, the way I've always done it. And I do make a lot of soap. I do the beard oils and the lip balms, but I don't do candles. I don't do wax melts. I don't do lotions. I don't do body, but like, I just haven't got into all that stuff. I've just kind of stuck with the simple that I do and stick with that kind of.
In your balance of making your products, your creativity, I love the new Halloween one that just came out. I asked you if it glows in the dark, and we got to see. How do you balance that? How do you like come up with the names? How do you want to like
Becca.
color?
No, and these are two, and the reason I did these two, I've always done the glow in the dark. So
that's the one I got.
But you see the little skull on it, and you see the little weapon here on here. Yeah. Those are called embeds. So you make those with regular soap, just pouring it in the mold. And I don't do a lot of that anymore. I used to whenever I was making small quantities of soap, like 10 bars. But now that I'm making over 2,000 bars a month, honestly, I don't have time to make 2,000 little embeds and let them set and then put them in 2,000 bars of soap. And so I've kind of gone from, I started out doing 10 bars at a time. Now I either do 40 or 60 bars at a time. Yesterday we made 2 batches at a time, so yeah, it's just grown. My son is learning how to make the soap. So sometimes I have an extra person that can help me, but mostly it's just me. My husband does a lot of behind the scenes stuff, just like my friend Ashley on here. Her husband is the CEO. My husband is the CEO. He does a lot of, I'll say, hey, order this, and this for me. He makes all my molds for me. He went to the post offices for me this morning. He did 3 deliveries for me. So he does all that kind of stuff, because he's like, you stay home and make the soap, because if you aren't making soap, there is no business. I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's true. So, yeah.
Now, the CEO, your husband, he is like a mystery man I have not yet seen. Reminds me of, you watched back then that show Home Improvement, the neighbor who could never see his face. You never knew who he really was, but you knew of or hear his background voice.
Yeah,
so he's
that's
a
him.
mystery, he's a mystery CEO.
He pops in every once in a while, but yeah, he likes to stay in the back and,
Well, we appreciate him too, because without him, you're not able to get your products, your things in line to be able to make these wonderful soaps. And so thank you to him as well. Now, you said you just completed how many years of now doing soaps?
10 years.
10 years.
And I don't do the farmers markets or very many craft shows. I used to do one every weekend, and it was rough. But now I do about 3 or 4 a year, because I feel like I don't have to do as many, because I have, my customer base and a presence in some of these places. Or there was one town close to me, I did the farmers market every year, or I did it for 3 years every Friday from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And it was hot on Friday afternoons all summer long. And so about 5 years ago, I got into one of the stores in that town. So now I don't have to do the markets because they sell it, you know. So that's kind of how I did it. I did a farmer's market at, you know, like Lake of the Ozarks. And then once I got in the store and said, you know, all my people go to this store, then I didn't have to do those anymore. So I really don't. And it's a lot of work. People don't realize because, you know, you might drive an hour and you got to get there an hour early and set up your tent. And then, you know, it takes 30 minutes to tear down and an hour to drive home. So you've already spent over 3.5 hours and you've not sold anything yet, you know. And so those type of things, I'm glad I don't do those anymore so much. But yeah, that's how I got out there. I mean, you know, they say you make it, they will come. That's not true. That's not true at all. It's not true at all. So
I made it, but it took a while. Has TikTok and now, you know, the internet, like the social media, has that given you a better platform in your business, and then what you would do then in a farmer's market then?
Yeah, in every aspect, because and most of the people who follow me have heard this story, but you know, like back in December, I read a book and it said, if you're not on TikTok, you're crazy because it is a totally free way to advertise your product. And so I asked my 19-year-old daughter, I'm like, do I have a TikTok account? Because, you know, to me, all it was TikTok was a place where kids got on and did all the little dance stuff, you know? And so, starting in December, I got on TikTok. I had 60 followers, and I got my 1,000. At the time, it was 1,000 before you could go live, and I started going live in January, and I've been going since then. Another way the whole internet has helped me is, you know, back before I'm 55 years old, so I remember a time when I didn't have a cell phone and I didn't have a computer, and I think back how hard it must have been to do wholesale because, you know, if I wanted to sell to somebody in New York City, all I have to do is get on the computer and, you know, type it in and look at different boutiques and stores and look at their picture and their website and find one that I think's a good fit, and then all I have to do is, you know, email them or call them, or back in the day, you'd have to, you know, go there to see.
Yeah, you have to hustle a lot.
And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to do that. I do that all the time. I have like a wholesale letter and an introductory letter about myself that a lot of times I'll send to people. I'll send them some samples. I'll go see them. You know, if you send 100 of those out, you may get 98 no's, but you may get 2 yeses. And then those yeses turn into, you know, something else. You know, they may have a friend who owns a store in another place, or yeah. So it just has kind of grown. But the whole TikTok thing has been super great for me. It has made me be accountable because it's like, ooh, I have to be on these. You know, there's going to be people there expecting me to be on and expecting me to do soap. Like if I don't do soap, they're like, why aren't we making soap today? And that helps me because it keeps me accountable. You know, back in December when I was going through trying to figure out how to do this whole TikTok thing, because I'm technology challenged, to say the least, that's when I found, you know, my bestie Ashley. She was sitting there in her orange shirt doing cups and stuff, and I remember going in there. I remember sending her a message on TikTok saying, "Hey, how do you do this? Like, I don't know how to do. I want to do what you're doing. How do you do this?" So we became friends right then and there, and we've met each other. I've met a few other people. There's like I have a whole list of people I want to meet because I feel like we're all family and community, you know, and so. People who aren't on TikTok and don't know about TikTok have no idea what it really is, because some days it's not about making soap. Some days it's about helping somebody through their, you know, their cancer treatment, or their dog died, or, I mean, just all kinds of things. Everybody on here helped me through the day that my horse passed away, you know, and it was emotional, and they all helped me, or when we're sick, or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
it's a huge family, actually.
I definitely can agree with that. I have people here that when I just need a prayer and I just need people just, some positive vibes and prayers or anything, and just meeting the people I met here and just, hey, can you say a little prayer for me? It just has opened to like having that, like knowing that someone's praying for me makes me feel just awesome. Not only that, to know these new friendships I have made on here. And so, that's why really I just has made me push in doing this. What I do on Fridays is just, there's so many wonderful women on here that I'm like, I want to get to know them more, but I'm like, other people would love to get to guys know you more, or the business you do, or I know that if maybe them seeing this, that it would inspire them to like, okay, maybe I should do this, whatever they're thinking to do. And so, yeah, it's just been something that definitely has been an amazing journey in meeting the people here and their story as well too.
And I remember I met you, Lexi, the night that you and Joni battled.
Yes.
And then I found out, we're in the same agency, and yeah, so that's cool. It's like family.
Just her making all those quotes and all the things that she made is a very talented thing. I've been on hers, and it was amazing just been able to help. We both were learning in that battle thing. And so, yeah, it was something that was really fun to do. In the times that you kind of already spoke a little bit of it, but if someone listening today right now is struggling on just kind of, starting a business, or they have a hobby that yet they maybe want to, what is something that you would advise them and help them in doing if they wanted to start a business?
I would say go take a class somewhere. Definitely. Check out your local county development. We have a class here in our county, and it was an 8-week class. It was 2 nights a week. It was a free class. And 1 week they had an accountant come in. 1 week they had a tax person come in. 1 week they had a development person. I mean, so by the end of this 8 weeks, not only did I have my elevator pitch, but I also had a business plan that I could go off of. Because nobody tells you that you need to go get, licenses for your county or your city. Nobody tells you how to pay property taxes and your income taxes on your business. When the due dates are, and nobody tells you all that stuff if you just start out on your own. So to either take some kind of class or have some kind of mentor that can help you with that, because if I could just be in my studio all day long making soap, I would be as happy as could be. But unfortunately, there's a lot of other business junk that goes along with it. I call it junk because I don't like that part. I don't like that part of having to do those types of things. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, and it is. I think in anything that you want to know of, there's that educational part that it can help you to do more. Not only that, but then there's things that then so you don't get in trouble, or things you learn about it that it's very important. This can actually help you more in a profit, or more in your business and getting out there, or whatever it may be. It will help you. And so I always tell people, continue education, do your research, do all that stuff. And so that way it can help you in the future of anything.
And another thing I would tell people is not just soap, but any type of business you start, there's kind of 2 sides to it. You can't just make things that you like, because not everybody's going to like what you like. You know what I mean? So you have to listen to people and make things maybe that you don't like. But then on the other hand, you can't do everything. You can't do everything. You know what I mean? And I feel like some people get burnt out because they're trying to do too many things. Like, I don't do lotions, I don't do candles, I don't do wax. And I feel like if I did all those things, there's this thing called the 80-20 rule. That 80% of your income that you bring in comes from 20% of your products. So you don't need to make 10,000 different products. Find what works for you and stick with it. And just like this morning, I was somebody asked me, do you make shampoo and conditioner bars? I said, no, I don't, but I know who does, And that's one thing about the soaper community. I think that we're all friends and that we all help each other out
That's
because
good.
I can't make everything, but I know a lot of people who make things. And so I can give you a name of who to go to, for certain things.
Yeah, that is good. Not only that, but like you help your other sister, your other friend, your other, all that out in their business as well is when you help each other out in that. You do this like just random chain. I say chain kindness of that it comes back around because the
Yeah.
same thing it'll happen. You're like, you know what? If you're looking for this kind of soap, you know what? Here, let me get you this person. And so yeah, it really does help around. And I've seen that in some businesses where it was one lady that made like wallets, one lady that made purses, and one lady like the belts. So when a gentleman would come like, hey, I was looking for belts. Do you make it? No, but I know this. And it would just go kind of like that chain of kindness all around of helping each other out. So that's amazing. And very true. And especially if you know something, sticking to it sometimes, it really, I think it pushes your passion, not only that, but I bet you how you said, your first try of making a soap, it didn't work at first. Until you get it into that like perfect product that now people are requesting, people are looking for. Because now you've stuck to something and you found already like that perfect ingredients, the amount, the whatever that you needed to make that perfect soap now too. And some people in not sticking to just one thing, kind of it bounces off. And I think sometimes those name brands do that. The big, huge brands that they started off and their product was good and then go off and make it so much things that it's like, wait, the product that they started off with doesn't come out as well anymore. And so sticking to it, yeah, definitely is a very good advice.
I just ordered a sweatshirt from Ashley that says "Remember your why." Like
I like that.
you gotta stick with with the reason you're doing it all in the first place. So
Um, when you started, you said you just started kind of like in a hobby, and so what was it that soaps though? What was it that brought you to like why soaps?
I know that's a good question. Well, I told you I started because my family was a little sensitive to stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But then whenever I got into it, I really think if I would have made that first batch and it would have worked out, if it would have been fine, I probably would have said, okay, here's some soap. Let me know when you need some more. But because I'm a stubborn person and I followed those darn directions, I followed them and it didn't turn out right, that made me mad. That made me mad. And so I'm like, you know what? I can do this. So I just started playing with my own recipe. And then if you've ever made soap before, I'm just going to tell you it's very addictive because then you look around at all these other soap makers and they're making all these really cool, colorful, different designs. And so I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so, now I kind of look back and I have a couple friends who are just starting out in the soap business. And they're like, I want to do this, 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 and this, and this. And I said, but that's not how I started out. You know what I mean? Somebody just asked me this morning, how many soaps do you have sitting on your curing racks right now? And I said, it doesn't matter how many I have sitting on my curing racks. You just need to keep making your soap and doing what you're doing. I tell somebody, start out with whether it's soap or another business, start out with $200 or $500 and go buy your stuff, make your product, sell that, take your profit, put it back into your business. I mean, I've probably been in business, 6 years? The first 5 years, I never spent a penny of what I made. It all went straight back into the business, And so I would remember going to my accountant and she's like, well, where's your paycheck? Okay, well, I don't get a paycheck, But yeah, just start out slow and build and it's amazing how fast something can grow,
That's amazing. Yeah. Now, your products have a certain kind of ingredient. Do you with any customer, do they ask any requests, like if they're allergic to certain things? Just for an example, like sunflower, do you take the request if they want your products, but maybe just one certain thing that they're not really allowed to have?
Yeah. So So the Totally Naked soap that I do, it has olive, coconut, palm, shea butter, and castor oil. So it doesn't have the sunflower oil in it. I could add that in there, but it's just another ingredient. And why have 6 ingredients when you can have 5? And it does great. But that's the one that would be for really, really sensitive skin.
Okay.
And then like the poison ivy relief soap and salve that I do, that's made with jewelweed. So jewelweed is just a wild weed that grows here in Missouri, but it's been used for centuries for itches. So when you cut that stalk open, it has like an aloe vera in it. And so I use that to make the salve and the soap, but it's also good for bug bites. It's good for eczema. It's good for any type of rashes. So I look for things like that. I do a lot of wholesale. I do a lot of things for like weddings, so, or baby showers. So if somebody calls and says, I really need a soap, you know, I'm allergic to coconut oil. I can't have soap with coconut oil. What can you do? Well, if they're just wanting 3 bars, it's not worth it to make a 20 bar batch is as small as I go for that. But I can send them to somebody who does make soap without coconut oil, you know. Like my product isn't for everybody. Do you know what I mean? And then I have friends who will send their people to me for certain things. Like maybe they don't make something for, you know, really sensitive skin, or maybe they don't use essential oils, because everybody does things different. But yeah, I do 20 bar loaves, 40 bar loaves all the time. People just have to realize that it's going to take a while to make, because I'll have people call and say, we have a baby shower in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, sometimes you have to order certain scents, you know, if they're wanting something special. And then it takes, I like to let my soap set 8 weeks. Really 4 to 6 weeks is good for soap, but I like to let mine set 8 because it'll last that much longer, because it just gets that much harder. But if I have it, you know, if they're not picky and they're like, yeah, I just need something that's purple. I don't care what it smells like. Or, you know, I need something that smells, I don't know, rose, has a rose smell to it. You know, if I have something here, a lot of times I can fix them up in no time. But yeah, I do a lot of custom orders.
So we are in the month of right now, October. Then we have, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Do you have like seasonal scents, seasonal specials or things that you do throughout these like holiday months and stuff?
Right. So all my Christmas soaps will go online at the end of October. Okay. I've been making Christmas soap since the end of July.
Oh my goodness.
Well, because since they have to set 8 weeks, I can't start making them in November. Like I'm almost done. The very last soaps for Christmas will probably be in the next 2 weeks, because if they have to set 8 weeks, you can't, you know. And so that's what always cracks me up when some of the places where you get supplies to make soap, they'll have a big sale, you know, get ready for Christmas the 1st of November. And I'm thinking, it's already too late, really. You know, by that time, it's already too late if you're just planning. Because if it takes 4 to 6 weeks to cure. So yeah, I'm starting to look ahead to January right now. I'm kind of like when you go into Walmart and they've already got the Valentine's Day stuff out. That's me. So yeah, I'm kind of tired of Christmas stuff. But I still have fall stuff right now. I have like a bourbon pumpkin. I have a pumpkin cider, a lingonberry. I have a couple still of the glow in the dark soaps. So yeah, but the Christmas soaps will be coming soon, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of little gift sets for that. So I do the lip balms. There's a little bag. I was working on those this morning that has 4 lip balms in it, 4 different Christmas flavors. There's a box that has 5 soaps and a lift in it. There's a box that has 4 soaps. There's Christmas sample bags. So yeah, there's every price range you can think of. If you need a $7 little gift for a teacher, or I have a lot of people who we'll order like a box, like a $50 box of different Christmas soaps, and like realtors, and they'll give them out to customers. Or with the Missouri grown that I'm in, they just ordered 300 bars because they're putting Sylvie soap in all of their Christmas boxes. So yeah, I have a lot of people that put them in different baskets and stuff. So that's good. That's good for me. Christmas is my, actually December is not my biggest month. October and November are my biggest 2 months of the year. Because Christmas, I mean, sometimes I run out of things at the beginning of December. And if you run out of something, it's too late to make it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. So I just watch my numbers and make more every year, if that makes sense. What sold fast and what didn't. So yeah, that's
no, definitely. You have to find out all the timing and everything else. You already know your products. You know how it works. You know the best way. And so if they need that 8 weeks to set and anything else, so they can be really good, you want to be able to your customers to be happy in the product they receive. And so yeah, it seems like you have your stuff crunched, done, like all how to make it just how it is. And your products, it speaks for itself. They are really good soaps. And so right now, do you have any samples that you could show us right now for the month of October? I saw that you showed us 2 of them. But what are what's the number one that people are always asking for?
The oatmeal milk and honey is what they're always asking for. And I'm going to show you a Christmas one because I have it here. This Christmas one here
I like the color.
is called the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Very cute.
After the Nutcracker, and all the little girls love it because of all the sparkles and the glitter on the top of it, So I've got gobs and gobs of that. I made 80 bars of that the first year, and I sold it all the first day. And so I was like, okay, that's going to be a good one. But like for Christmas, just looking at my racks, there's a berry cranberry, the orange clove, and the apple and cinnamon I make all year round. I only used to make it at Christmas, but I make it all year round. There's one called Santa's Pipe that's a black and white, and it's a cedar wood and tobacco smell. I have one called Fraser Fir. So I have quite a few of them. I have a spearmint orange one, a peppermint one. So yeah, they're all set and cured on the rack waiting to go. So
nice. I have to look into that Santa's Pipe one. I think that one might be one that my husband likes because he's loved your soaps, and I'm like, I got these for me at first, and now it's like I have to share. And
once you get your husband on board, then you can just buy what you want, Yeah. So, as far as men go, the hickory and suede is my #1 seller, and then another thing coming up that'll be big is the beard oil. So I do the beard oil, the soap, and the chapsticks. Those are the only 3 things I really. Oh, and I do a few inhalers, but. The beard oil for the No Shave November is, I sell more in November, obviously, than I do any other time of year. So
I did not know you do beard oil.
I do. So I have an unscented one, and then one is called Outdoor Blend, and it's like a pine cedar smell. And then the third one, it's kind of goes with the hickory and suede soap. It's more of a leather smell, but it's called Rawhide.
Oh, yeah, you definitely are going to win my husband over that. He definitely loves beard oils. He's always very picky about what he puts in anything else. And since he already loves your soap, oh yeah, he's going to be like, she makes what again?
And since I obviously don't have a beard, what I did, I thought, I have all the oils. I should try making a beard oil. And at the time, my son had a beard. And so, not Dylan, the other one. And so he wanted me to make beard oil. So I made him some. I made little sample bottles, and we took him to the Harley dealership because all my husband's friends at the Harley dealership had beards. And so I took him a bottle, and I said, I want you to try this. Don't worry about hurting my feelings because I know you've all used beard oil before. tell me what you love, what you hate, what I could improve on, and they did that, and that's how I came up with my beard oil recipe. So yeah.
I love that you gave to the people and got your product and just like, all right, give me all your guys' like feedback and everything else and heard them out.
Right.
Yeah, awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, because that is definitely I think now has been a big huge thing in men. They are now seeing ladies that we do all our facials and oils and things. They're like, all right, we got to start taking care a little bit. That beard oil, that industry has been growing a lot more. And so he would just soap, wash your face, I'm done. Like I cleaned and everything else. But it has totally changed now that he's picked up those products of like beard oils and stuff. And so that is awesome. So any gentlemen listening, you guys, there's beard oils that she has, not just soaps. She has that too. And so, yeah, that is awesome. I like that. Are there any, besides you said lip balm, beard oil, soaps?
Well, I also sell, I don't actually make them, but so I also sell the soap lifts, which are made in the USA. That's what I love about them. But you just set your soap on them and you can kind of see through them. Can you see the light through them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it just lets your soap dry better, because if you set your soap up like this to dry, it gets harder and it will last longer than if you just let it set. Because not just my soap, but any handmade soap, it doesn't have the chemical in it to keep it hard. So you need to let it dry in between uses. But the cool thing about these is I even have like the trays.
Oh,
so
nice.
I don't use the tray in the shower, but see how it has a little lip in the water can fall. But they're all made in the USA. And then for Halloween, we had the little skull
ones. That is cute. I love that.
And we've had little bone ones. But like at Christmas time, I'll take, a white tray and a red soap lift and put, a peppermint soap and wrap it up. So I'll have all kinds of little gift sets like that on my site. And the little inhalers, like, you've seen the Boom Boom sticks or like the Vicks inhaler. I do have those.
But like the snip ones.
Yeah, so I have those on my site too because, I have lavender and peppermint. And the reason I have those is because, when TikTok was doing the subscribers, Ashley was my first subscriber on February 14th. And before I knew it, I had 147 subscribers. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these people? And so we started doing, like, the first month you subscribed for $2.99, you got a $7 bar of soap when you ordered. And then the second month you got maybe like one of the soap bags. And so I was always, or you got a special lip balm that I didn't sell online. So I had to start thinking of these things, like, what am I going to do for these people? And so we came up with the inhalers, and they stuck. They stuck. People liked them. So I just delivered 12 of them this morning. So, and they're quick and they're easy for me to make. And so they're another thing that I do. Now that TikTok has changed things, I don't have those subscribers anymore. But I still have all those friends, so they're still here with me. We just don't do the subscription thing anymore. It was a lot. It was a lot to keep track of the way TikTok did it. And now that it's like $10 or $14, I'm like, you guys unsubscribe because as well as you and I aren't getting the money for that. So why do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, they can, still be that, customer and get interested in ordering your products in that way, what they want. And so, yeah. And
I told them instead of spending, I think mine was going to be $14 a month is what somebody got an email saying. And I said, you can buy 2 bars of soap for that. I mean, why give that, to TikTok? So we love TikTok, but TikTok was just being greedy on that. So
yeah, and a lot of the things have changed and everything else. That it's understandable, but it is. It's better that if they're there to buy your product, really. and that's why they subscribe to, because they like the products of what you were getting in that. So,
but isn't it crazy how TikTok has changed? Just like I've only been on here since, doing live since January, but so many things have changed since then. It's always changing. So, I mean, we may wake up one day and not have it, but if that's the case, I know how to contact all my people. You know what I mean? I think a lot of us are close enough that we'll still be able to, get together. There's so many people that we text back and forth. Some of my best friends I've met here on TikTok. So that's amazing.
Not only that, but like with technology, I mean, it's like another app is created anyways, like another, for something else. And it's like, well, there you go. There's another platform and there's another platform. So there's so many platforms.
And I started out on FB and, I still post every now and again. I feel that those are more my local people that follow me on FB, and I don't hardly put anything on there anymore now that I've gotten on here. Insta, I don't do much on that. I feel like I don't have time to be
on everything, right?
It's hard. It really is hard. It is hard. And sometimes I feel like TikTok is almost a job with all the stuff that you have to do.
Yeah,
behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
It has pictures. It has like these like live hosts you can do. It has like the store. It has everything. So yeah, it's like kind of.
I couldn't wait to get to 10. I told my husband, it was so funny. I said, I cannot wait to get to 10,000 followers. Like we're gonna celebrate. And he's like, what happens when you get there? I said, well, I can be a content creator. And it was kind of like, yeah, but you don't really create any content. So I'm like, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I need to do more. And I feel like I don't have time,
Yeah. We could just pause and just get a little bit to do like anything sometimes. Yeah, it's hard.
If I post one thing a week, I feel like I'm doing good.
It is. I have been a little bit MIA on myself too on TikTok, but because life hits you. There's so many things sometimes, and it's just hard. And at least I was trying to do like one, but even with one, sometimes it was just hard. It's like, wait, when am I going to post? When am I going to do it? And there's a video on TikTok of that. Like, you're just so many questions and things that you're like, okay. But for me, I think I enjoy more this part. That I could really talk live to a person face to face. And so there you go. Like if people come on in, then they can come on in. If not, at least, you got that fun time in creating this and doing a nice live and everything.
And it's crazy sometimes when I get done doing a TikTok, I'll go in and my phone will beep and it'll be a message from somebody that says, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get to see your live today. I had to take Johnny to the doctor or whatever. And I'm like, you guys, never apologize. Like, you don't have to tell me where you were at. I mean, if I don't see somebody for a couple days, you're probably going to hear from me. If you're one that I see all the time, you're probably going to hear from me just saying, hey, are you okay? I'm not being nosy, but when you see somebody every day and, you talk to them on here, it's like you build relationships. And then when they're gone for a while, it's like, where did they go? Is everything okay? I hope, nothing's, But life happens. It's not all about TikTok. So.
Yeah. And that's the sweet part in creating these communities. You really do. You are doing it really just because you care now for this person. You've got to have that now friendship that you created on here with them. And so, yeah. You have amazing products. You have, I'm loving that. Now I know about the two other ones. And then maybe near future, do you see a product that maybe you want to like give a try, or maybe that's something that's always been maybe behind the back of your head of like, I want to, but you haven't got there? What is a product that maybe you want to do or anything?
I can't even think of one. I want to do some pine tar soap for men. I want to do that. It's all soap related. It's all soap related. And I mean, so my son works for me 2 days a week, and he thinks in his mind at some point he's going to take over the company. So I don't know when that'll be. I remind him, I'm like, I'm only 55. I'm still young. It's not like you're pushing me around in a wheelchair yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what the future looks like. I can say though, I mean, I told you I live in a small town of about 4,000. So if I was 25, would I have a store? I don't even know if I would or not because of the fact that I don't think that my small town could support it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could it with all the wholesale and stuff that I do? Well, yeah, but I kind of like having my shop right here so that if I want to come out here at 9 o'clock at night, plus, you know, I try to keep my prices as low as I can because you'll see people that have $15 bar of soaps that are the same size as mine. But like my labels, I make all my labels myself. I feel like I have low overhead because I'm not renting out a building somewhere. I mean, it's just a building here on our property. You know, but when you think about the price, you're also thinking about your time and the electricity and all your supplies and, you know, the sacks that you're doing and the tissue paper and the boxes and the shipping. And it's like, it's a whole lot, you know? And I feel like that our little company has been blessed. We've grown just the little increments that we needed to not have to go, you know, like get a business loan or something. Like I said, we put everything back in the business until 2 years ago we went to Italy. I've always wanted to go to Italy, and I used soap money to do that. But besides that, we just keep putting it back in the business until just recently. Recently, I've been like, okay, you know what? Life is short. You got to go out and enjoy sometimes. So, yeah.
And the hard work that you've put into in doing this, yeah, you definitely deserve something to just saying, you know, I might just spoil myself a little bit. And
but
so,
you know what? I really do love it, though. I do love it. And I don't know what I would do. I would probably still be teaching, honestly, because in Missouri, you can retire when your age plus your years of experience equal 80.
Oh, wow.
And so I only taught 26 years and got full retirement because I started teaching when I was older. And so if I didn't have this soap company, I would probably still be teaching full time because I loved it. And I have so many friends that say, well, I would retire, but what would I do? But yeah, I've got the soap company and I love every second of it. If it was just making soap all the time, I'd have to do other stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, you can tell, and I love coming onto your lives and seeing the passion you have it. Not only that, but I think you always have a good like music mix. When I come on there, you always I could just be listening to your live, but I'm like always jamming out as well.
That would be the CEO. Yes, he sends me playlists all the time. I'm like, here's the songs you need to play on your live.
Well, then he's doing a very good job. I love like the playlist on your live, and so I've enjoyed in coming in there. And you could just tell too the passion you have in it. You know, when a job becomes like work, I know that sounds weird. It's not the same. You don't give the same into what you do compared to like when you love something, to have passion for it. You just do it in this whole different kind of like atmosphere and a whole different kind of mood and stuff that really you can tell in your product too. Because then your product just speaks for itself. Not only that, your product is just amazing. Why? Because you put all that love, that effort, that passion into it, that it really does. People then afterwards can see that. And so I have loved coming onto your lives and watching you with your steps, your colors, your things that you end up mixing. And not only that, but how you just invite people very welcoming in. Like I said, I joined one time when Ashley came in. And so I was able to just come on in and you were just so welcoming and so kind to me. And I was like, oh, definitely. Okay. I'm definitely coming back in. But yeah, just all the products that you do it just so joyfully. And I love that. And to see that that's the passion you're putting into the product that you're doing is that love, that passion that you do. And so thank you for that you do that all the time, in such a joyful, attitude. And so thank you, Zoe, for that.
Were you with me? The first time you saw me, was I in this shop or was I still down in the basement?
No, you were on this shop right here.
Okay, so when I started in January, we have a walkout basement. I had the whole half of the basement. And probably if you look back in my bio at some of the older videos, so we just built this. I think my first day out here was sometime in July.
Okay.
So yeah, so TikTok has helped me grow a lot too. From January to April, I sent to all 50 states, and I was like, "Holy cow! This is gonna work."
Wow,
And so,
yes.
so it's been. I mean, TikTok is. I mean, I so many people you talk about TikTok, and they don't even know what it is, but it has really been a blessing for me. Plus, like I said, I've met some of the best people. I got to meet Ashley. We're like sisters. I got to meet Dottie, and there's a whole bunch more I have on my list of. I want to meet so many that we can all get together, and you can come too. We love to have you come.
Yeah, definitely. All the ladies I've gotten to know on here are amazing people, and so thank you so much for from coming on here, for letting us hear about your product, but about you. And so thank you for being our new neighbor on Hello Neighbor here, and letting us know about your business. And if someone wanted to know about your product, do you have a website or something that they can go to, or what would you recommend they go so that they can find your product?
It's right up here in my bio because TikTok doesn't like you saying that stuff, but it's just Sylvie Soap.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's right up here in my bio, and on the side it has a picture of every soap. It also will tell you what's in every soap and give you a little description of it. So
there you guys go. You guys have to go then follow Sylvie. Her name is at the very bottom of her screen name right here. And then you guys can go check out her bio. But if you guys are not following her, please follow her. Check out her her website, her bio, and go on her live, you guys. Like I said, she has a good playlist. She does her lives with so much passion and fun. And so you guys go check out Sylvie, please, and follow her. And thank you once again, Kim, for just giving me your time and just letting me talk to you. And so for being a
thank you. You have a really really great idea going with the whole meeting people that women that businesses or whatever their story is. It's awesome. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hold on. Sorry, they do that puzzle thing once you get into the hour. There you go.
Because we're not moving enough.
I know. I was like, oh no, my puzzle was like, it paused right into the hour. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm just so happy that I've gotten to meet you and get to know you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. And good luck with your Hello Neighbor. I can't wait to watch more of them.
Thank you guys for joining. Everyone that's on here too, thank you guys so much for joining. I'll put on the highlights, but if not, then you guys, I will be back here again next Friday with another business. They do candles. They do scented stuff. And so her name is Rooted, I believe it's called, the company. And so you guys check me out next week. I will be posting on the time. But again, thank you guys again and have a good week.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.